American Werewolf was essentially a more fleshed out American Werewolf in London. I'm very proud of the script. I'm not allowed to release it,
of course.
they say.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating because I'm really proud of it. I think it's one of my better scripts. I was basically, it was American Werewolf. A lot of it followed the exact structure of the first film. But I fleshed it out in a bunch of ways that were really, I think, cool and fun and interesting. And I think it's very funny. I really am. An example is, it's slowly built. There's a bunch of different things I did with thematic stuff, but like an example of concrete, like plot stuff I changed was there's this guy, Donald, who lives in the little shitty town they go to where the slaughtered lamb is. And he's this he's their age, but he's this horrible, stupid prick North English guy who would be like Donald Gleason or someone. And red haired, just like skinny, mean British guy who hates them. And they see him fighting with the locals in the slaughtered lamb. And one of them is his dad. And when they go off the road, it always kind of fucked with me in American Werewolf that you just cut to them and they're off the road. It always felt very movie. It always was like, oh, what is this? Bob Hope and Bing Crosby? This is a road movie. We're just cutting. And now they accidentally, whoops, the 1950s. We're in a different scene.
Did you ever look at your dad and was like, what's up with that?
No, of course. I talked to him about it a lot. I told him he loves it. That's the worst thing about not being able to release it is my dad loves my American Werewolf, and it's so rare I get like a really good review from him. And it kills me. But so now the reason they go off the road is Donald, after fighting with his family, is drunk on his Vespa, and he almost hits them, and then he goes off the road. And David, throughout the first part, David has seemed like the nice guy. And Jack is the guy being like, let's just have fun. And David goes, is there no British asshole unworthy of your charity, David? We're going off the road into the dark, into the murder woods. That's, you fucking asshole. Are you kidding? And David's like, well, no, maybe he got hurt. And you can hear Donald going, I'm fine. Fuck you. Don't come down here. Don't come down here. Fuck you. And Jack is going, he's telling us not to go down there, David. He was rude to us in the bar. He's a rude man we don't know. Let him die. And
let him die.
And yeah, it's a funny script. And so they go down there and they get separated immediately and they end up in the mists. And all the same shit happens. Jack gets killed. David gets mauled. It happens in a way cooler way because instead of being attacked, I needed to keep changing things so I wasn't doing beat for beat. So you think it's going to be the werewolf when they're hearing something going around, but really it's a truck with a guy from the bar who was like, I came to get you, don't worry about it. So the tension of the scene totally deflates and it totally is like, oh, thank God. And then the truck gets hit from the side by the werewolf and turned on its side and it has, rig lights on it. And in the fog, so it's like this crazy, I want to direct it's this crazy image of the rig lights spraying up through the fog on the side of the truck, and then the werewolf comes in front of it, so it's like a silhouette of a wolf against the light. And the guys are like, awesome. Whoa! And they get, all the same shit happens.
Right there's your poster. Right there's the...
Dude.
I tried to do so many and this is the poster. And this is the poster.
Yeah.
And so Donald, the big change of the plot is that Donald gets sent to kill David in London.
Oh, that's
so there's this Danny Boyle lock, stock, and two smoking barrels element to it as this fumbling millennial North English guy tries to murder this dude. And then do you want to know sort of the bigger twist of the movie?
Yeah, no, fire away. Because, this is the only way we're ever going to really know, right?
This is the only way. So basically, I really fleshed out the nurse, Alexis, Jenny Aguilar's character.
Mm-hmm.
I made her someone who's miserable in their lives and who has lost all sense of hope and magic for the world because she's been working on the terminal ward for kids. And that's why she takes a random American home from the hospital and fucks him. And like, I made it make way more sense. She's like, in a way, she's like kind of a way messier point in her life.
I was going to say, she just seemed really friendly. It made me want to go to England.
Like, and I was like, that's the place to be.
We got to go backpacking, Chad. We got to go backpacking.
Man, we got to go.
There's a whole part where she's alone. One of the introductions to the character, because after David gets attacked, it's like the Alexis movie for 6 minutes. We're just getting to know her as like a random girl in London who's like, you see her, your first introduction to her is in the back of a cab, incoherently drunk, doing the to the window, to the wall, like that. And her friend is in the cab, like trying to, and great. She's lost all hope in the world because she works on terminal kid ward. And there was one kid who started to get better. And when he started to get better, there were all these balloons and cakes and candy for him, and people were visiting him every day. But then the cancer came back and it got worse. Damn. And less people were there. And now he's dead, and she just had to clean up all the balloons out of the room.
Oh, that's fucked.
And so she's like, there is no other world. There is no other life. There's no magic left in the world. She stopped talking to her family. But then when Jack shows back up as the ghost, I do way more with it. It's like a full-on buddy movie. And they do the bit I was telling you about, because he has this whole romance with Alexis and trying to pretend Jack isn't there. But then Jack's like, you have to kill yourself, man. You're going to turn to the werewolf, all this stuff, and I let you have your little before sunrise moment with this fucking girl. I let you do it, dude. So just kill yourself now. And David goes, what the fuck is before sunrise? What are you talking about? And Jack goes, you have to kill yourself, man. He goes, no, what are you talking about? He goes, you haven't seen Before Sunrise, seriously, Ethan Hawke, Julie Delpy? And he goes, no. And he goes, David, how have you seen no movies? You've never seen anything. And David's like, I just don't like movies that much. He goes, you have to see Before Sunrise. You just did it with this nurse. And then you just hard cut to them sitting and Before Sunrise.
Fuck yes. I'm so glad. I was hoping, I'm like, please God, tell me it's just them fucking just decrepit sitting on the couch watching this movie.
And then they get into this, it goes into this whole sequence where he's like, the gas has been totally taken out of Jack. So he's like, what are we doing? Well, I'm not going to turn to the wolf till tomorrow. So like, we never got to go to London. And then it's Penny Lane. There is a bar selling photographs. And it's them all over London. It's like a montage of him and the dead guy. And you keep getting to David talking to no one, but Jack's really there. So he can touch things and move. He's a ghost. He's like a real ghost. He's not a hallucination. So you see like the guards, and David goes like with his iPhone, and Jack knocks the guy's hat off. And David's like it's, I love it.
That is awesome. Like, I always wondered how that would happen. Like, how would they?
Big dark twist.
Yeah. Let's fucking hear it.
So I always thought it was really crazy that American Werewolf, David doesn't kill himself, because the situation gets so dark, and it's so clear that what he's done, that he's putting other people in risk. And I wanted to suicide. I'm sorry, I'm talking about this a lot. I really love talking about this.
This is okay. I love this shit. I've always wanted to know.
Oh, sick. Okay, then you'll think this is cool, I hope. So David, like, super in the first movie, comes across as selfish, but just because the stakes seem unfairly high. And like it feels suddenly like a serious, like the grimness of it is almost overwhelming. And I was like, well, what could be interesting interpersonally in a dynamic of one friend telling another friend, kill yourself? Like, what could I do with that? So what's revealed throughout the movie, through their friendship, because they're kind of in denial about it, is that David cheated on his girlfriend, and they were all in one friend group. And it came out, and the whole friend group hates David now. And Jack is the only one who's still his friend. And you took me to England, and I went on your little feel sorry for me trip and your little soul searching thing. And you're so full of shit, Dave. You take me to the worst place on earth, and I fucking die. Go! I hate you, man. I hate you so much. When you kill yourself, I'm gonna love it, man. Oh God, don't say that, man. That's so fucked up of you to say. I wouldn't really love it if you killed yourself, but you do have to, because you are a werewolf. And that's just what it's like. So the dynamic is totally different. And there's this whole moment where David calls his ex-girlfriend when he's about to jump off a bridge. And she's like, he's like, I want you to know that, you know, like, I'm so sorry and all this stuff. And she's like, David, why are you calling? Didn't Jack die? Shouldn't you be like talking about your best friend who died? And David goes, oh, it's been so fucked up because he's still here. It doesn't feel like he's dead at all. Oh my God. And his ex-girlfriend's on the phone like, he's like, she already hates this guy. And then he just buries himself so far. He's like, yeah, and I hooked up with this random nurse and I turned to where I killed 3 people, I think. And she's like, what the fuck? And she goes, please don't call me again. And so he does ultimately try to kill himself. He jumps off the roof of the movie theater after being chased. It's so dope. I do all this mass shooting stuff subtly. Like I said that in a little too excited of a voice, but there's this whole part where Donald is in Piccadilly Circus in a movie theater with a double barrel shotgun, and Donald's dad ends up getting killed in this way that's like very frustrating. And it's all this stuff of the London lockdowns and stuff with all the CCTV. I did a bunch of cool, I think, visual stuff with CCTV cameras and all that, and kind of Banksy type. The sort of their cameras everywhere in London. So when the first time you see the werewolf's rampage, you see it all found footage.
That's fucking awesome. That's really cool.
Because I want to hide the wolf for as long as possible for budget reasons, and also to build it like the first one.
Oh, you have to build it, which is why the first one delivered to me so well.
It cuts loose at the end. That's what I love about it. It goes, he crashes a bus. Like, in the end of American Werewolf, it goes, this incident will change the world. This is international news.
Yeah.
This is international news. This is a world-changing incident. Werewolves are real. Yeah, so I really commit to that at the end, too. But basically, David tries to kill himself. He jumps off the roof. And it's really funny because Jack's going, do it, David, do it. And then he does it. And Jack goes, oh, my God. Oh, my God. But he hits the ground and he doesn't die. All his bones are broken. Oh, shit. And he's all fucked up, and the moon is coming up, and Jack starts going, what? What? He tried? This is so fucked up. This is so fucked up. I didn't think you were going to do it, David. You're so brave, but this is so fucked up. It looks like it really hurts. And he turns from the puddle of human into the werewolf. Piccadilly Circus rampage. Crazy mayhem. He's shot by the police, but he also bites Donald, the son. He ends up mauling.
Oh, no.
But right before he's killed, Alexis not only saw him transform, he lands right in front of her when he tries to kill him. It's really brutal. But not only saw him transform into the werewolf, but then had this up-close encounter with it. Remember when she's in the alley and she's like, David? Yeah. I do that moment, except for I play it like Gorillas in the Mist. Where she, instead of it being a horror movie moment, at the end of this crazy horror movie sequence, she's like, it's a werewolf. Magic's real. Yeah. So she gets this sense of something bigger, and you see it like register for her. And then it goes, ah! The police shoot it. And then the final 2 beats of the movie are Donald's in the ambulance, and he's all fucked up. And the 2 guys, they manage to finally... They have a big emotional conversation where they get through their blocks, and David killing himself represents him admitting he was wrong to his friend by literally killing yourself. But so they're both in the ambulance, or Donald's in the ambulance, and he's like on all these stuff. He's a shitty guy on all this like IVs and shit. And he looks, and Jack, all like rotting, falling apart is sitting on the thing next to him. And then he looks, and David, naked with a bunch of bullet holes, is sitting, and he looks at him, and Jack goes, Donald, guess what? You say it. And David goes, Donald, you got to kill yourself.
Oh, dude, that's so fucking good.
You cut back the final credits, and then and bop-a-da-bop, dang, dang, dang. But then you cut back to the hospital, and it's her friend, the nurse's friend, is coming into work. And all these people running around. It's what's going on? There was something crazy in Piccadilly Circus. There was a man with a gun and some kind of animal got loose. Yeah, what? Holy shit. Yeah, we have about 155 people coming in. It's mostly bite marks.
God damn. We were robbed. We were robbed of this movie.
Werewolf
Dude, that's so
Apocalypse
fucking good.
sequel.
It's so fucking good. That is just.
It definitely adds a lot of substance to the original.
Yes, like a lot,
which is great because there was a lot of things. Like I said, like Chad said, one of my favorite movies. I've always said, "Don't touch Back to the Future, don't touch American Werewolf in London," and I'm good. And that actually, the way that you explained it and pitched it, would add a lot of substance to a lot of scenes where you're kind of like, "Wait, why is this happening?"
Yeah.
Because American Werewolf's so good it gets away with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so good it gets away with it. But when you're revisiting it, you gotta, if you're making a remake, you gotta remake. You gotta take what's there and do the best you can to capture on the feelings that maybe felt like they were already there somewhere, but they didn't. I didn't want to add. There's a sense of being pursued in American Werewolf, so I gave it a character. Character. There's this, the biggest change I made and the most controversial thing in the entire script, and it is controversial, but it's controversial in the original movie, but you remember when he dreams about the Nazi guys?
Oh, yeah.
So I changed that. This wasn't subtle. I changed that to be he dreams that he got home, and it's like Christmas in Chicago, and there's like, he's in a shopping mall with all these people around. And then it starts to fill up with the mist from the moors. And he loses his family. And he's like, where's my family? What's going on? And then he sees his mom and his dad over by a toy store and everything's normal again. And it sort of plays like, oh, maybe he did make it home and he's just hallucinating. But then like a IED, like a pipe bomb, goes off in the front of the toy store, blows apart two of the kids. And the kids are like spread apart. And then a guy with a M16, an AR-15, starts going boom, 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 and the families while they're shopping, and it's a mass shooting. Except for the mass shooter, as he gets closer, his body keeps going like that until you finally get a good look at him, and it's that horrible werewolf face, and it's like, oh no! But I just wanted to do something. The movie is really intense and dark, while also being really funny and like. It's heartfelt and about a friendship and about a relationship, but I did want to put something in it that really made people sit up. And and I it's interesting because writing that script, I had to sell that pitch to my dad. Like,
that's oof.
It was people are like, you talk about nepotism. You think John Landis wants there to be a bad version of fucking American Werewolf in London?
Yeah.
Like, you think he gives two shits I'm his kid if I gave him a bad pitch? Like, oh my God. Like, that's his legacy. So it was such an important thing. And then things happened the way they did and it didn't happen. And what's interesting is I got paid for it. So they own it. So one of the weirdest things is if there is a remake of American Werewolf in London eventually for some reason, they can just use whatever of my ideas they want.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me a couple of times. I've written only a handful, but I've written movies or ideas that I was paid to write, and then the ideas show up or echoes of them show up in the movie that's eventually made. And it's always really interesting to experience that.